jab, uppercut, leave you laid out on the floor. Try to duck and roll, hit and miss, now you counting stars. Should've practiced more, should've hit the mask, get out there more. Claim that you're the best. You gotta show me, son. Actions over words, baby boy. Is you real or what? Talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back
A shout out to the hottest chat in the MFN game. A-side official. No negotiation needed, period. You already know. The first in the building. JD on deck. Let's go. Salute to you, man. You already know what it is. Shout out to the news by Shot News. Sauce Experience. Hottest in the game. Let's go, man. Appreciate you pulling up. Team Tucker official on deck. Shout out to Toby, man, a.k.a. Mr. International across the pond. It's better to be global than just local in the building. Salute WCS in the hottest chat in the YTC. We're global, baby. We're global. Yes, sir. You already know what it is. We have just a little, teeny bopper, live to do today because I must continue to highlight Errol Spence's protege, Frank Martin. So if you don't know, Frank Martin, who is ranked in the 135-pound division, okay, some of you may be a fan of his and others not so much. I'm not trying to influence you either way. He is a part of Man Down Promotions, okay? I know there's a lot of you all that really rock out with Man Down Promotion from, your idol, Errol Spence Jr. But Frank, last fight was July 2023. As we know it to this day, he was supposed to step in there with Shakur Stevenson. He didn't accept the purse that they was trying to offer him. But yet he told us that he had some big coming in at the end of the year. We haven't heard that. You know what I'm saying? We haven't heard anything about that yet. So at this point in time, there's been a shakeup. And let me explain to y'all the shakeup. You remember when I did a live and I told you about the vacant belts that was at lightweight division? I said you had the IBF and you had the WBO. I said potentially George Kambosos and Vasyl Lomachenko is going to be the ones probably contending for the IBF. These is Devin Haney's belts he vacated, okay? And then I took you all to the WBO. I said, instead of Frank going in there and supposedly fighting Gervonta Davis, it would make sense for him to go the WBO route, get a belt, which would be a decent check, and then unify if he wanted to for another check, and it'd give him time to build his legacy. Well, we've been waiting on the PBC news, right? And we only got the March 30th card. But we also been waiting on the Ghost, who's been Ghost. We haven't really seen or heard any movement from Frank on his next fight. And there's been tweets put out. I'm not the only one, but there's been several people asking about the whereabouts of Frank Martin. Because why? Because they put out a video of Errol Spence jump roping, but we're not hearing anything else about Frank Martin. So, recently, me doing my research, I found out, and let me give you a better look at who Frank Martin is outside This is Frank Martin. You know what I'm saying? He's still trying to find his way. You know, he's still trying to find his way around town and everything. When I say around town, on what he's trying to do at 135-pound division. This man is 29 years of age. He should have been in the mix right now, especially after pulling out of the Shakur Stevenson fight at the end of 2023. Frank is most known for putting out this tweet. I'm taking it to the ceiling on the next one. I'm going to be honest, in all my years of life, I never heard somebody say I'm taking it to the ceiling on the next one. I never heard that before. I don't know if he thought that was cool or that was supposed to give us some type of, you know, shock value, shock and awe effect. I don't know what the hell he meant, but I'm still puzzled. But that's the tweet he put out. Okay. So when it comes down to, you know, the news breaking, I need to turn y'all on to this news right here. This news was wild to me. Shakur Stevenson, who is a champion at 135 pounds, he's the WBC champion, and you asking yourself, how does Shakur Stevenson bleed over into your topic? Okay, I'm about to tell you. Shakur Stevenson obviously was looking for a way to unify, just like he did at 130 pounds. He first picked up the WBO, and he was able to unify with Oscar Valdez with WBC, right? So now that he has the WBC, Shakur is looking for a way to continue to build and become the man at 135 pounds. If you remember, check this out, how things evolve in boxing and how boxing is a grimy game when it comes to the business. Prior to him moving up to 135 pounds, you remember when Shakur wanted to fight Oscar Valdez, but they sent Emmanuel Navarette up there, and people made a big deal, and they was calling Bob Arum racist and all that. So somehow, some way, they end up giving Shakur Stevenson that WBC title shot against Valdez at 130, right? And Emmanuel Navarette, you know, he was forced to step aside. You know what I'm saying? Because it was rumor mill that he was going to fight Oscar Valdez instead of Shakur Stevenson. So Shakur got the fight. Okay? So we travel forward to now, 2024. Shakur Stevenson at this point has submitted his freaking retirement statement, and he's no longer an active fighter. Now peep this out, how things work, right? So Navarette was slid into that WBC slot at 130, but didn't get it. But now guess what they're doing? Shakur Stevenson wanted to somehow possibly fight for that vacant WBO title against somebody. They saying no. Who's coming up? Navarette. Emmanuel Navarette and Baranchik is fighting for the freaking WBO title. Imagine that. Navarette is moving up again for another division. He loved vacant titles. I mean, besides Isaac Dogbay, goddamn Emmanuel Navarette loves vacant titles. So they give him that access, and he's moving up to fight for the WBO title with Shakur Stevenson, wishing he could have fought somebody for the vacant. Now peep this out when it comes to Frank Martin. Did I not tell you all that, hey Frank, it would be much more of a smarter business decision if you was to go the route of the WBO? Wouldn't that be a better way for you to gain leverage, get some notoriety, being that they're fast tracking, you're 29 years old, being that Lomachenko and Cambozo is fighting the IBF sanctioning body? This would be your last ditch hope to grab one of those vacant titles. But they moving up Navarette, y'all. Frank Martin ain't nowhere in the picture. You know what they giving Frank Martin, man? You already know what they giving Frank Martin. They giving him something real special. You know what I'm saying? Frank Martin, he's getting a hatchback full of men's healthcare products. That's the news. He's happy to announce that, you know, possibly he might be the sponsor of men healthcare products. That's about all Frank Martin is getting to put in his beard and put in his hair, something like that. Because I look, this is wild. Look how the trifecta, the triangle work. They come back. Shakur Stevenson is giving the vibes that he's going to be independent. And look, people that get mad at Shakur, right? People getting all upset at Shakur because he's doing the same thing Teofimo did. And you know, even the worst part about that discrimination is that if you paid attention, Shakur did it worse than, not Shakur, Teofimo Lopez did it worse than Shakur Stevenson. Because he knows what he's doing. You want to know why? I mean, you want to know how? Shakur Stevenson, when he was going against the grain with Top Rank, he negotiated more for Lomachenko. And he even went against them again when he went to purse bid. And Triller picked it up against Cambozo. So Teofimo has been in rough waters before with Top Rank. People are criticizing Shakur Stevenson because they're saying that you let it be known that you may potentially be independent and you're not going to be re-signing with Top Rank. So Top Rank, why would they give you a belt, you know what I'm saying, on your last fight if you don't plan on sticking with them? You know what I'm saying? That's what the rumor mill is. But how it all played out, Navarette came in once again. I don't even think Shakur Stevenson even seen that himself. I think he was blindsided that they slid Navarette into the picture once again. Now, Shakur should look at this, and this is all honesty how Shakur should look at this. He should go back in time when Teo was freaking going that route to face Richard Comey, the IBF route. He should look at both him and Devin Haney, how they both had their tribulations. Devin Haney had his tribulations with not being able to fight Lomachenko. Teofimo Lopez had his tribulations with, you know what I'm saying, getting through a tough Nakatani to face Richard Comey. All right. Then he had the big fight with Lomachenko. So they went different routes. He should look at the history on what it took for them to get where they wanted to be at. Shakur Stevenson is in his third division. Some part of me says that he's not really understanding how travel works to this legacy shit. Shakur is believing that he can do it however he feel like, and people just gonna respect him just based off the divisions that he's compiled. You can't do that when you have fights like you did with Edwin De Los Santos. But get back to the picture. You got Devin Haney, you got Teofimo. Teofimo beats Lomachenko, get the belts, right? He's at the top. You know, it's the back and forth. It's a backstory, back and forth, you know, between him and Devin, because they was two of the more popular names in the lightweight division. You know, outside of Tank. But Tank was on the side chilling, okay? Teo got to his destination. He lost it to Kambosos and moved on. All right? Kambosos so much to the point, you have to include him, but he's not in this equation. He did pick up the belts from Teo, but he's not in this equation. Then you have to look at Devin Haney. He had an opportunity to face George Kambosos twice, which was a tough negotiation for minimal pay to go across the waters and fight in Australia twice. Not only go over there with the possibility of Bill not being on deck, but going over in somebody else's backyard and fighting an Australian fighter, right? He won and then left and went back over there for the Aussie second. He completed the Aussie double. Now he's established, legit. Can't nobody say anything about the Fredo Santiagos and Saul Abdullahevs and all that. He's a legitimate official, undisputed. Shakur Stevenson should have been looking at how and what route they had to take to get where they at. You can say you have more divisions, but when it comes to them and how they have picked up all the belts, like they have picked up all the belts, bro. Especially Devin picked up all the belts, Shakur. They didn't get there easy. Devin Haney had to wait in the shoot, man. He had to wait in the shoot. He had to wait. And the right time, he was able to get his freaking flight release. They was able to clear him for takeoff. He was able to get cleared for takeoff. Shakur, on the other hand, It just seems like he really don't know what a manifesto is. It just seems like I don't know who he's talking to, who he's getting advice from. I don't know. But if he's trying to emulate what Teofimo Lopez is doing, Tio does it different. Tio does things with a purpose. Whenever he wants to do something to put eyes on him, you always see him doing something else on top of that to let you know, okay, I get where he's going with this. Okay, I understand. I got it. All right, I know what that is. It's always something productive with Tio. But with Shakur Stevenson, I just can't figure it out. Frank Martin, I have no freaking clue. Why wasn't Errol Spence able to get Frank Martin a WBO shot against Navarette? You don't think he ready? How is he fighting Baranchik, bro? Look at the rankings. Baranchik is ranked second, okay? But they was just about to give Frank, they was just about to give Frank Martin a fight with Shakur Stevenson in WBC. Frank Martin is ranked 6th right now in the WBO. Isaac Cruz or whatever is locked up. He moved up to 140 to face Rolly Romero. Frank Martin, you know how boxing goes with the connect. Nobody could have got him in the seat to fight for the vacant WBO against Baranchik. Nobody. Vasil Lomachenko is supposedly locked in with George Kambosos for the IBF. You're trying to tell me that Emmanuel Navarrete is moving up just because he's the WBO champion in 130? He's jumping all the way over Frank Martin's head, and he's fighting for the WBO? But yet he said he's taking it to the ceiling. What ceiling? Because I would have liked for you to fight for a title, you know, get some hardware on your waist. So when you go into that next negotiation with man down promotion, you have some leverage. Now I look at you as if they just playing with you. You know what I'm saying? Because Emmanuel Navarrete is just moving around like he's going shopping on Black Friday. Whenever he sees something on the clearance rack, another vacant title, for real, or you want to take that, Emmanuel? Sure. No problemo. Sure, I take it. Goddamn, Emmanuel Navarrete a fight for a vacant title, man. Just like serving breakfast. But I'm asking myself, why in the hell Frank Martin couldn't get that shot? You said that I'm taking it to the ceiling on the next one. All I see is the final slot for a vacant title that Devin Haney vacated is going to Navarrete and Baranchik. My biggest question and my concern is, what in the hell are you doing? Like this guy right here, what is he doing? He's with this guy. That's supposed to be your star pupil. That's supposed to be the protege of all proteges. Let me go to the chat and see what they have to say, man. I'm not gathering this, man. Once again, Emmanuel Navarrete is moving up, and he has a full plate in front of him. You know what I'm saying? He about to eat again. He's about to eat again. Moving up to a division for a title shot. It's not like it's impossible. But Frank has already had fights. He said he was going to take it to the ceiling. Where? With who? Big Bumps and Boxing on deck. What's good with it? Navarrete isn't even a super champion. And he still got the fight coming off a draw against a guy Shakur beat soundly. I'm not really talking about the quality, and you're right. Look, I'm not really talking about the quality of Emmanuel Navarrete, because I thought for sure that he would have went in there and finished Hobson Conceição, right? I would have thought he would did that, but he didn't. So I'm looking at his performance against Conceição, and then I'm looking at, Shakur's performance against Edwin De Los Santos. And I'm saying it could have been easy for Shakur Stevenson to fight Navarrete if they was going to move him up for a vacant WBO title. But if Shakur Stevenson already put it out there that he planned on being independent, Top Rank may be looking at it like, okay, if you're not going to be around, then we just going to keep you where you at. You know, that's why I said, look at how they got it. I left Cambosis out because he was just a mandatory. But look how Teofimo Lopez got there, the road they had to travel. Look how, if anybody have a backstory, Devin Haney, the road he had to travel and lie in wait. And then the plane ride he had to go over there twice across the pond and back. That's what he should be thinking. I think Shakur Stevens is not really processing, how to plan your manifesto. Be smart about it. Be tactical, bro. You know what I'm saying? If you're tactical in the ring, you got to be tactical in business too. You got to be smart. It's like he's not even considering everything's supposed to fall in his lap sometime. Shakur, no, bro. No, now, look, y'all remember, those of you that's following me, right? Y'all remember when I said the black fighters have to stop falling behind the Latino fighters. But see, Shakur Stevens is half Latino. But I'm just saying, the black fighters got to learn how to place themselves in front to be next to a Canelo. For real. You know what I'm saying? There's ways to get there. But I'm talking about promotion, sponsorship. You got to learn how to get yourself up there somehow, some way. You know what I'm saying? You got to learn how to. And it just seems to me like a lot of us, the black fighters don't know how to do it. They may feel that they can't do it, but that's not true, because Shakur Stevenson just got signed to Reebok. You're doing big things. You just got signed to Reebok. So if the person, whoever you talk to, got you signed to Reebok, why aren't they able to navigate you better if you plan on trying to be undisputed at 135? Then along with that, I thought you said you wouldn't mind revisiting Frank Martin. I wanted that you put the offer on the table to, try to encourage, okay, put Frank Martin in there. Because sometimes you got to negotiate the whole entire, manifesto. That means helping somebody else get to their destination too. So you could have, requested Frank Martin fight for the WBO. See, can that happen? If he wins, you fight the winner of the person that's fighting for the vacant WBO to get that unification on deck. Then, it looks a whole lot different. You know what I'm saying? The winner of Kambosos Lomachenko, okay. And then if you're still around, if Tank's still around, you know what I'm saying? We may potentially get you and Tank Davis, but I know that's easy said and done. I know it's easier said than done, bro. You know what I'm saying? I was just, Frank's news has did what, gave us exactly the way we look at him in his personality. You know what I'm saying? His news bounced off the wall about, taking him to the ceiling. And he is absolutely living the life of his alias, the Ghost. Ain't nobody paying attention to you until you show up. That's real talk. Man Down Promotions don't got no juice. You would think somehow, some way, as long as he was over there as the face, he used to be in good standing with Floyd Mayweather. That might have, dissolved. But yeah, like you said, Man Down Promotions couldn't get you in the WBO slot. Yeah, I mean, Man Down Promotions can, get you in the WBO slot, man. I don't know about this. Real talk. It don't make any sense. It could have been a lot of productive maneuvering going on at 135 to set up a unification. And by 25, we possibly could have been talking about another undisputed at 135. You know what I'm saying? That's if things could have worked out with Shakur Stevenson fighting the winner of a vacant, which, could have been Frank Martin, whoever. And then, he get a fight with Shakur Stevenson again. And then they can take it from there with the WBA and the IBF. But coming full circle, man, it's two lessons that's being taught. You know what I'm saying? Frank Martin is being taught a lesson. to stay the fuck off social media. And if you can't really give us something that's solid information, you know what I'm saying? You say you want to take it to the ceiling. Yeah, you took it to the ceiling. That shit hit the floor and bounced back and hit the ceiling and hit the floor again. And then Shakur Stevenson, I mean, who saw this coming? I mean, did Shakur actually know that Navarette was moving up from 130 to get an immediate title shot with Baranchyk? Or was he blindsided? That pissed him off. I think it's sort of blended in with that. I think he was blindsided. It pissed him the F off. And he looking at it like, man, weak ass boxing, man. I'm done with it. I'm retiring, this, that, and the other. Something's going on. Blunt say WBO belt holders move up all the time. They've been talking about him and Shakur fighting. So I asked Shakur, isn't the fight a little bigger if him and Navarette both have a belt? This is the way I look at it with others who have done the same thing or whatever the case may be. We already know WBO titleists, they handle the elevation however they see fit. That doesn't mean everybody has to follow that same format. If you already have a champion in a division and whoever is the powers that be is willing to make a certain fight happen, then make the fight happen. It doesn't always have to be, everybody that's a WBO champion is not moving up to fight for the WBO. We have to remember, Devin Haney vacated these titles. Not every fighter is confident in themselves to go from the WBO to move up and face the WBO champion. Crawford did vacate his titles and then move up and fought Jeff Horn. We've seen it over and over again. We got it. But I'm speaking strictly about Shakur Stevenson and him being a division champion. And he got some hitters at the 135-pound division. Why move Navarette up there? And how many fights did he have? How many fights did he have at 130? You know what I'm saying? Is he a bigger name than Shakur Stevenson? No. Not at all. Not at all. You know what I'm saying? But also for Shakur Stevenson, he definitely want to fight somebody that's a all right name. I don't think Shakur really care if it's an all right name or not. I just think he wants the straps. I think Shakur at 135 definitely want to be undisputed. I think he definitely wants to be undisputed. Excuse me. And he sees making a lot of money at 135 if he can pull it off. See what happens when you don't punch or think you're entitled to the A side just because all the kids are talking about you. You make a solid point with this, and this is why I'm going to say that. It's because, for what my understanding is, Shakur Stevenson was pretty much being very frugal, you know what I'm saying, when it comes to the money or something like that. Like, he wasn't really trying to make it fair across the board on fighters moving up there and getting paid. You can't be that guy. You got to understand, in order to get people to come to the table, for you to step in the ring with them, they have to feel like, hey, I'm satisfied. That old term they use, made whole. They need to feel like it's worth their go. I know we're fighting for a belt, but you can't go lowball them, or you can't make it just so they just getting by, breaking even. Blunts, who you saying Navarette is the WBO champion 30? Didn't I just say that? I mean, I don't know who you're talking to. I don't know if you're talking to me or somebody else. I said that several times already. I said Navarette is a champion at 130. He's a WBO champion at 130. I mean, I'm not sure who you're talking to. You might be talking to somebody else. Exactly. There you go, WCS with Top Rank play. Yeah, for sure. You know, Sean, you know what I'm saying? Texas say good morning. Salute to you, Texas. What's good, man? South in the building. He's not a WBA super champion, only Bud, Monster, Canelo, and TOR. He doesn't have the privilege to skip the line, but apparently that didn't matter at the time. So I'm looking at it like this when it comes to the promotion, right? What purpose? What are their plans to do? Okay, Navarette goes in here and fight Baranchik. It's not guaranteed he's gonna win because Navarette has looked a little shaky in some of his bigger name fights. But let's just say, the winner of Navarette Baranchik gets the shot at Shakur Stevenson. You know what I'm saying? That's gonna push it down further, this year. And then that means Shakur Stevenson, there's no telling when he's going to get back in the ring. Who knows? I don't know. It might be, one fight for him this year. Who knows? Because from my understanding, he's definitely trying to, fight nothing but the big fights for the big checks. But just like you heard Shaw News said about Top Rank and everything, if you had already put the play out there that you're trying to be like everybody else and be independent and make this money and don't have a promoter, well, Top Rank ain't gonna try to play those games with you, bro. Even though Teofimo Lopez, he survived. I'm not saying he's gonna be there for a long term, but he did the exact same thing that Shakur did, but he did it even worse. You know what I'm saying? He negotiated the Lomachenko fight. You know what I'm saying? And he went the purse bid for Kambosos. He was playing hardball, man. And they was trying to say, Teofimo was on the outs with Top Rank at one time. And now he's up here making commercials, walking in headquarters with no shirt on, them at the table. I'm telling you, y'all got to learn how to promote yourself, man. I'm not saying Shakur isn't, but come on now. When you come to Shakur and freaking Teofimo Lopez, there's levels in promoting yourself. And also this whole shakeup at 135, I don't know how to plan it, man, because I'm looking on the screen, I'm saying, okay, Errol Spence, he was a former unified champion. Does he have any more power within his promotional structure to get Frank where he needs to be so he can say he has a champion? You know what I'm saying? Is somebody blackballing Errol? And in the process, Frank Martin is getting blackballed too? You know what I'm saying? We've seen that happen over there. We've seen the Russell brothers be on the shelf, but are they being ostracized? Are they a pariah? What are we looking at? Why didn't Frank get the shot at the WBO? He's current reigning. You know what I'm saying? He's current reigning contender. Frank Martin. He says he's taking it to the roof, man. Taking it to the ceiling. Where are you? The play for Top Rank, man. Should have kept that to yourself. He's a full WBO champion, but that belt doesn't have a super title to it. According to the rules, if you are a full WBO, regardless of division, you can move up and challenge. That is correct. He is the full WBO. But I was thinking, I never said he wasn't, but I'm just saying, in hindsight, why is it important for Navarette to move up and fight for the vacant WBO so easily? You know what I'm saying? And we have already big names at 135, and Navarette is not one of them. Navarette is not one of them. Hey, MD, the way I'm looking at it in the rank system, I could have sworn they said he was the WBO super champion at 130. The way he is on the ranking. You know what I'm saying? Anybody else in the chat has some clarification on that? I would truly like to know what it is. A WBO super champion can move up or down in weight class and challenge another WBO title holder, and they get extra time before they have to fulfill a mandatory. Okay, all right, okay, drop them gems. Shakur would have got that fight if he would have thumped on the last Top Rank outing. Okay, so once again, check this out. Where you coming from? Check this out. How I'm gonna break this down and respond to you, because I'm just a small channel. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Me and my colleague, we struggle with just, the numbers being like 2 or 3 sometime. But check this out, Texas. How I'm gonna break this shit down, right? So you say Shakur would have got the fight if he would have thumped Top Rank, the last Top Rank outing. What about I give you a scenario to pretty much not debunk, because debunk always seem like you're debating. I'm not debating you. I'm just giving you a reply to say that I don't agree with you, and this is why I don't agree. Shakur, Teofimo Lopez, right? He had a poor performance against Sandor Martin. His Sandor Martin performance was his second fight at 140 pounds. He looked bad in that fight. So close to the point where people thought he had lost, and T.O.'s up there like, bruh, do you think I still got it? I mean, that was T.O. He fought Sandor Martin, and he looked bad. But what was his next fight, though? Did they take the same mentality that you, they with the same promotion, big dog? He still got the Josh Taylor fight. They weren't talking about, well, T.O., we gotta sit here and look at this film, buddy. I mean, it wasn't too shabby, the way you looked in there against that guy, that Sandor Martin. You didn't give us the energy we was looking for this Josh Taylor fight. When you go up here and fight for a title there, T.O., you already know for 135, things get a lot heavier up here, 140. I'm just saying. He looked bad against Sandor Martin and still got the fight. So I wouldn't use that just because he looked a certain way against Edwin De Los Santos. That excludes him from fighting for a vacant WBO title. Should I go further? How did Rolly Romero look when Tank knocked him out in the 6th round and they moved him up in the WBA? Oh, I know it's different sanctioning bodies, but this man was put in a slot at a higher division coming off a knockout. It don't matter. Sebastian Fundora, he was knocked out by Brian Mendoza. What is he about to get his next fight? A title shot. So that look, this ain't a fashion show. It's all about business. It's all about business, man. Shakur, he lost his belts on the scale. If that never happened, he would have been in the driver's seat right now. I mean, Shakur is he fought for the WBC, right? Him losing his belts. Just think about this. Him losing his belts on the scales. Let's go back to Gervonta Davis at 130. Do they really get punished for that? I'm just saying, like, you're looking at it like he has to be actively a champion to be able to move up there. But let's just say, for instruction purposes only, people know that Shakur Stevenson was a unified champion at 130. He lost his belts on the scales. So transparently, that means there's some type of demarcation line that prevents Shakur Stevenson to move up to 135 and fight for a belt. You'd think that he would have been automatically available for a Devin Haney. That fight wouldn't have happened right away. I mean, I don't think that's the route that Bill wanted to go. I don't think DHP wanted to go that route with Shakur Stevenson moving up and getting an immediate shot with Devin Haney. I don't know. I really can't say. I'm not the fly on the wall. But those demarcation lines, man, in my opinion, to each his own. I don't think they really matter if he dropped his belts on the scale. Gervonta dropped his belts on the scale, and he was right back in there for a title shot. It happens, bro. It happens to fighters, man. Fighters drop they belts on the scale, and they go right back in there for a title shot. Hey, I just can't totally, put that up as if it's a rule. It's a rule of thumb in boxing. If you drop your titles, that messes you up from elevating up to the next division. If that's the case. I don't see it like that. Truth be told, I just don't see it, bro. Man, they originally said you have to defend it 5 times to become a super champion. Well, you know how boxing changed rules and make it specifically for certain people. You know what I'm saying? But I'm believing that Navarette, per the system, is a WBO super champion. You know what I'm saying? I'm almost sure of that. I believe I know who Blunts was talking about, but he's right on Navarette being a WBO super champion. There's some other qualifications that they can consider as well, though. That's how T.O. ended up getting it. What's that? The qualification for T.O. getting a shot at Josh Taylor? Because that whole scenario right there pretty much debunks or refutes, rejects, the whole process. Because the way T.O. went from 135 to 140 is just uncommon. You know what I'm saying? He was, he recovered pretty quick. Yeah, he had one fight when he went up to 140 after losing his titles, right? He had one fight. And then, he went in there against Sandro Martin, and he didn't look his best. He looked mediocre at best. But nobody was looking at him saying, well, he ain't gonna do this, he ain't gonna do that. Well, he ended up getting a fight with Josh Taylor, who never lost. And then he retired. He pulled a stunt and retired. Somewhat the same shit we see going on in this whole scenario. You know what I'm saying? With Shakur Stevenson, he's doing somewhat the same thing. But he already has a title. Y'all have to look at it that way. T.O. has one title. He fought for one title at 140. And then he retired. And now he's coming back for Jermaine Ortiz. He says it's a publicity stunt. Shakur Stevenson, 3-division champion. Yeah, he looked bad against Edwin De Los Santos. But should that prevent him from getting another title shot with any other 3 champions in the division? Not at all. Not in my opinion. Not in my opinion. There were other stipulations. These fools nowadays ain't defending it 2 or 3 times. No, they ain't. He better stop eating Twinkies before the fights. Yeah. Looking at the WBO rules for designation, they view him as a prospective super champ. Nav meets all the requirements. Appreciate you dropping that info on him, man. You know what I'm saying? Education is key. You know what I'm saying? Navarette, in all honesty, and Usyk and Bud should be super champions. At the end of the day, Shakur lost his WBO strap on the scales and lost his leverage in the process. It's on him at the end of the day. You talking about him? So if it was me, I would ask this question. Let's just say Shakur can only go one way when he gets to the 135-pound division. You know what I'm saying? He can only go either or. You feel me? He only go either or. He want to go the WBO route. He want to go the WBC route. I mean, it all depends on the rankings and everything. So I look at it like this, MD. If it worked out for one, it can work out for the other. I really don't see where he lost leverage if he still got to the WBC. He was a WBC champion at 130. He still got there at 135. He got there. It was a vacant one, but he got there. So he either go one or two ways. You know what I'm saying? He go to the fork in the road. He go to the left, and he go to the right. It all depends when the belts was freaking coming open, what route he wanted to take. He had the belt since he beats Dog Bay. Yeah. That's one of the belts he actually won from a champion. But he loved fighting for vacant titles, though. MD said 100 people showed up for Shakur last fight. That was his real issue. I mean, they got to build him up, man. They got to build him up. Hey, look at it like this too, MD. You know, Teofimo Lopez, man. He had fought in the Garden already, and they had him in the Hulu. They had him in the theater. I mean, do you think Canelo is where he fought? He would go to the theater. T.O. has been at the highest of the high. They had him in the theater, bro. They had him in the theater. T.O. messed it up with those fumbles and stumbles. Hey, you learn from those stumbles and fumbles, though. You learn. T.O. got some of the most sponsors in boxing. Man, you gotta watch. You gotta watch the game and see how he's playing it. Y'all busy worrying about things that don't matter to him. T.O. know how to get y'all tuned in and make you believe he ain't doing shit right. But if you really pay attention to his IG and everything else he has going on, he's moving. You know what I'm saying? Bud Light, Essential. You know, Xander Zayas is doing the same thing. Now he's sponsored by Bud Light. They picking and choosing who they want to, get these sponsorships with. You know what I'm saying? And I'm pretty sure, Shaw News is going to work on that for Jahad Tucker. You know what I'm saying? He's very user-friendly when it comes to the camera. These fighters just got to get out there and get these sponsorships. That's what's going to blow them up, too. Bruce Gas, Boxing Jazz, and more. Salute, OG. How you feeling, bro? I think it dictates how much money is in the 3% at that time. Once again, you said you think you're talking about the 3%. Well, what is it with Rolly then? I want to use Rolly as the gum on the shoe. You know what I'm saying? The gum on the sole of the shoe. Not just fresh gum, old gum. You feel it there. How much are they getting off Rolly? $2, $3? How much they getting off Rolly with that? How much you think the sanctioned body is going to get off Rolly in his defense against Isaac Cruz? $4.56? Well, state tax 70. Hold on for a second. All right, I'm back. Let me see. They gave him that super champion title. Yeah, for sure. I wouldn't be too concerned about what the sanctioned body's getting on 3%, but more so concerned about the purses that the fighters getting, because regardless of how much they get paid, the sanctioned body's getting theirs off the top. It ain't no back end money for the sanctioned body. Okay, let me pay them first, and then we're going to get out. No, they get theirs off the rip. You know what I'm saying? Off the rip. WCS, so we just having a little debate amongst ourselves in the chat. Hey, that's what it's supposed to be, really. You know what I'm saying? But, like I said, I read the chat. What y'all having amongst each other, maybe potentially education for those who's tuned in and paying attention on the replay. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, that's what it is, I mean, it's boxing talk at the end of the day. But, getting back to it, let me remove them. And, all I gotta say is this is a fight you should be looking forward to. The WBO has officially ordered 3-weight world champion Emmanuel Navarette and 2012 Olympic medalist Baranchyk to fight Denise Baranchyk to fight for their vacant WBO lightweight title. You know what I'm saying? This would be for Navarette's 4th division. So at the end of the day, this seems like a shoe-in for Navarette, but you never know, man. You know, because in my opinion, Baranchyk has slow hands, but Navarette don't really have extremely fast hands, and he's very unorthodox. But you know, Conceição, he looked a little bit impressive against Navarette. I would have thought he would have had more success out there, but it didn't happen. But people, just stay in tune with this. We definitely will have the search and rescue team out there trying to, you know, look for Frank Martin's fight news, because he said he was taking it to the ceiling, and we're trying to find out exactly how high is that ceiling. You know what I'm saying? If you're on your belly and the ceiling, when you turn over to your back and the ceiling's right there, you know, right in front of you, then that's not a pretty damn, you know, high ass ceiling. We're trying to see if this ceiling requires effort and challenge. You know what I'm saying? I'm not getting that. I'm not getting that freaking elevation and height. You know what I'm saying? From Frank Martin. What ceiling are you talking about? Cardboard ceilings are way different. So if y'all find out any information, let me know. You know what I'm saying? Please, let me know. Let me know. Shakur Stevenson, for those of you that's feeling some type of way, y'all didn't get that criticism to Teofimo Lopez, who did it. Y'all wasn't really dropping the hammer on him. So I understand that I don't believe this one bit. And I believe he's going to come out of retirement and potentially have a fight somewhere with someone. You feel me? Until next time, man, shout out to the hottest chat in the MFing game, A-Side Official. I'm out. Peace.
Left jab, uppercut, leave you laid out on the floor. Try to duck and roll, hit and miss, now you counting stars. Should've practiced more, should've hit the mask, get out there more. Claim that you're the best, you gotta show me, son. Actions over words, baby boy, is you real or what? Talking way too much, world come back. Sports, talking way too much, world come back. Sports, talking way too much, world come back. Sports.